So in this video, I want to talk about my first 2 months with the BMW M5 Competition. 2019 competition, pretty much loaded to the gills, except for it doesn't have the carbon ceramic brakes, which is a good thing. I didn't want to have, even though I hear that they last, a lot of people say they last a lifetime, the lifetime of the car, but there are, if you, let's say you do wear them out prematurely, they're $20,000 or $11,000 minimum, depending if you get an aftermarket kit or something like that. So I just got back and I just did my first service on this car, and I want to talk about it, and figured it'd probably be a good time to talk about my first service. So my first service, I spent $429, and I did an oil change for $220, obviously premium, synthetic oil, and I did the brake fluid flush. Obviously, when I bought this car, I knew that service costs were going to be quite expensive, and I wanted to be, I was aware of that. Honestly, it hasn't been so bad. Nothing, given the prices that I've seen at this independent shop for the oil change is comparable to what my 335 would cost, maybe a little bit more because it does take a little more oil. The brake fluid surface is actually, I think, cheaper than the dealer from the 335i because that's, a similar amount of fluid, I imagine. Overall, the multi-point inspection led to only first of all, the BMW tech at this independent shop worked at a dealership for, I don't know, I think they said over 20 years, and they they plucked him from there and got him to work at this independent shop, which happens to be really close to where I live, which is great. I think I lucked out. He did a multi-point inspection on this car and didn't really find anything that I wasn't expecting to see. I knew that the tires need to be replaced. In fact, I pretty much knew it the second when I bought the car. Obviously, you're buying a used car, you buy the tires that come on the car. I'm not gonna, I just knew that. I knew I would have to replace them relatively quick. I am gonna take this car to the track later in the month, so I think right now I'm at 3 30 seconds in the rears and maybe even 2 30 seconds in some areas. I'm gonna just take him to the track one last time, or for the first time, and just do them in. That'll be the end of the tires, and I'll just replace them really quickly after that. So, and you're gonna think I'm crazy, but I'm actually gonna go with all wheels. I'm gonna go with all seasons for this car. This is gonna be my 4-season car. The Mustang is going to stay over there. We'll be staying on summer tires. This is going to be my, doesn't matter what weather it is, it's going to get me to where I need to go. And I know a lot of you guys are gonna say, just buy another set of tires. Honestly, I don't want to deal with that. I'm fine with with a little bit of a compromise, get some decent all-season tires, and just live with them. I'm sure they're going to be fine. I mean, you got 285s in the rear, 275s in the front. That's plenty of grip even for all seasons. I think they're going to be okay. Another benefit of all seasons is they typically don't wear as quickly, and I think these tires only lasted about 12,000 miles. Unfortunately, because the weight of the car and obviously the horsepower, or whoever was driving it before I owned it, wore them out relatively quickly. I think honestly, 10 to 15,000, maybe you should probably get 15 to 20,000 miles off of a set of P0s. That's what I've seen. So I'm probably on the lower end of where, the amount of time you should gotten, but I'm going off of what I saw in the Carfax. Carfax showed the tires were replaced at about 60,000. I think about 65,000 miles. This has about 70,000 miles now, 75,000. So 10 or 11,000 miles is, I guess it's okay. It's not ideal. So another benefit of going all seasons is that. So again, the multi-point inspection, really great BMW tech. Looked over the vehicle and didn't really find anything too bad. So let's go over what I actually inquired about doing the transmission fluid change and the filter and all that, and that would be $850. But they recommend that I do the transfer case service. That's $567. Front differential service, $189. rear differential service, which quite a bargain, $94, and replaced the, they did a scan, I guess he scanned it and he saw that the tire pressure sensors were were low, the batteries, I guess, and I guess you just have to replace them. So I guess that's $378. So, well, we're talking about almost, maybe $1,700 on maintenance, which, I was expecting, to be honest. I knew that this car at 75,000 miles was due for probably all this stuff anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it eventually. Obviously didn't do it at the time. I declined it because I needed the car today. I needed the car tomorrow for its, full detail. This is going to be the detail that kind of resets the vehicle, because the hood, it just needs it. I actually just deconned it last weekend and spent about maybe 2 or 3 hours. I did iron remover, I did the clay bar, I did like a strip wash, I used the Biltmb, this is kind of a mess, but I used the touchless Biltmb touchless, I used the strip wash up here, that Adam stuff. I did everything, and kind of a bummer, when I was doing this, I discovered a bit of a chip here. So I don't know. It's kind of I don't know if you can see it, but it's right there. And I bought a ductor. I'm gonna try to fix it myself. I'm not gonna have this thing pre-sprayed. It's not worth it. And for that tiny little chip that big, I'm just gonna tell the guy to maybe not do this area, and then I'll just re-ceramic coat it later, or maybe he'll come back and finish it off another day. But that's the plan. But anyway, so far so good. I'm really enjoying the car. Haven't driven it as much as I wanted to. Just where I lived, it snowed like crazy. So I was, worked from home a little bit here and there, and but it's been really great. And every time I get into it, it's like an event. It does feel like a supercar, really. When you turn it on, the Mustang feels more muscly every time. The engine note of it is definitely louder. It's a more visceral experience, you could say, when you're driving it. This is a little more refined inside the cabin, but outside it just has a different tone to it. It sounds, I would say, a little more refined, a little. It's still very loud when you're outside the vehicle. Inside, it's actually quite, it's a luxury car, really. It's just a really fast luxury car. And it's a very nice experience. And, if you're looking, I just wanted to make this video because if you're looking at I know these cars are coming down in price. I got mine for about 50 grand. Soon they're going to be in the 40s. In some cases they are. The 2018s are probably in the mid 40s, and, with 90,000 miles. So these are the things, these are the expenses that you're going to have to look into. If you're going to buy one of these, you really got to do right by it and do the maintenance. Don't run these things into the ground, because the car deserves better. And I look at this thing as kind of like a dream come true. I've worked hard enough that I could afford this thing, even though it is used and heavily depreciated, but it is still every bit an M5, and I'm really happy that I own it. But anyway, if you have any questions about anything I said in this video, I know I probably rambled on like crazy. It really helps it a lot if you can like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.